I was never the loudest man in the room. I didn't wear designer suits, pull up in flashy cars, or throw money around to impress anyone. My strength was quieter. It lived in a way I paid attention, remembered the little things, and gave loyalty without hesitation. That was who I was. And when I met Serena, I believed, naively perhaps, that I had finally found someone who valued that. It happened on a perfectly ordinary afternoon in the most unexpected place, a bookstore. She dropped a copy of The Art of War while juggling a stack of other books, and I bent down to grab it before it touched the floor. She smirked, looked me straight in the eye, and joked, "Guess I'll need this to deal with people like you." Not cruel, playful, with a spark that caught me off guard. We started talking, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like someone was genuinely interested. Serena wasn't like me. She was quick, witty, magnetic, the kind of person others naturally gravitated toward. I was quieter, observant, maybe even a little awkward, but she once told me she found my calmness comforting, charming, even. That was enough to make me believe this could be real. The early days were beautiful in their simplicity. She was the one who texted first, who called out of the blue just to say she missed me. She told me I made her feel safe, that she trusted me in ways she had never trusted anyone before. And I held on to those words like they were gold. So I gave everything I could. I showed up. I supported her ambitions, even when mine slipped further away. I remember her little quirks, celebrated her wins, carried her burdens. To me, that was love. But slowly, something shifted. It wasn't a big fight. No explosion. Just tiny cracks that spread over time. I noticed it first around her friends. One night at dinner, I realized I had forgotten my wallet. I laughed it off, ready to pick up the bill next time. But Serena leaned in and with a grin told the table, "He's broke, but he means well." Everyone laughed. I forced a smile while my stomach twisted. I told myself it was harmless, just a joke. But the jokes kept coming. My mispronunciations, my mismatched socks, my awkwardness. And every time I laughed along, smiling, nodding, pretending I didn't mind, while quietly wondering if she was chipping away at her respect for me. The breaking point came at her best friend Tanya's birthday party. The place was loud, buzzing with music and clinking glasses. Serena had already had a few too many. I was standing right beside her when someone asked, "So, is this the guy?" They were clearly asking if I was the one. She smirked, sipped her wine, and with casual cruelty said, "Oh, he's not the guy. He's just a placeholder until the real one shows up." The laughter around me was deafening. I stared at her, praying she'd laugh it off, say she was joking. But there was no correction, no apology in her eyes, just that smirk. And in that moment, something inside me went quiet. I didn't argue. I didn't make a scene. I simply smiled politely, nodded, and walked out. That night, I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't even block her. I just stopped chasing, stopped begging for scraps of respect, stopped caring. For the first time in over a year, I chose myself. The next morning, she messaged, "Where did you go?" I ignored it. Then another, "Are you mad? You know I was just joking. Don't be dramatic." Still silence. 2 days later, 12 missed calls, voicemails full of excuses, half apologies, guilt that sounded more like performance than remorse. She even showed up at my apartment door, shifting from frustration to confusion to panic. I didn't open. I watched her from the window, and for once, I didn't feel the urge to fix it. A week later, her tone changed. The joke stopped. Her text turned desperate. "I miss you. Can we talk? I messed up. Please, just answer. You were always too good for me." I didn't realize it until now, but by then, something had already shifted inside me. It wasn't just her words that broke me. It was the fact that I stayed while she chipped away at me little by little, that I betrayed myself by allowing it, and that realization cut deeper than anything she had ever said. So I rebuilt. Quietly, I worked out again, read more, reconnected with old friends. Piece by piece, I remembered that I mattered. I stopped wondering if I was enough for someone like her. because I finally understood she was never enough for someone like me. Months later, fate tested me. I was sitting in a cafe, a book in hand. When Serena walked in, she froze. For a split second, I saw in her eyes surprise, maybe hope. "Wow," she whispered. "You look different." I smiled, calm and steady. "I feel different." She tried to laugh, tried to fill the silence with small talk, as if she could slip us back into that old rhythm. But this time I wasn't swayed. I sipped my coffee, stood, and simply said, "Take care, Serena." I walked out without looking back. Because I didn't need to. I already knew the truth. She wasn't laughing anymore. Some people don't realize the weight of their words until silence answers them louder than anything else could. She thought I'd always be there, no matter how many times she chipped away at my dignity. But the day I stopped caring, everything shifted. Not out of revenge, not to make her suffer, but because I finally chose myself. And sometimes the loudest power move isn't shouting, pleading, or proving a point. It's walking away in silence and letting them feel the absence of the person they took for granted.